Many people live with the belief that somewhere out there lies a number that will change everything. $10,000, $50,000, $100,000 each. One sounds like salvation, like a promise of peace. It feels like once you cross that line, the anxiety will fade and confidence will take its place. But the more people reach those goals, the clearer one truth becomes: nothing actually changes. Because it's not about the number on your screen, it's about how many years you've let your money work for you. Society feeds us a simple idea: wealth is the result of one big achievement. Just reach $100,000, they say, and you've made it. But finance isn't a race, and it's not a marathon either. It's an endless process where every number is not a finish line, just a mile marker on the road. You can reach $10,000 and blow it all on a car. You can hit $100,000 and lose half of it in a panic during a crisis. Numbers are temporary, but years are permanent. They shape habits, discipline, and financial resilience, things that can't disappear overnight. Money doesn't explode into growth the moment you hit a balance. It grows quietly like water filling a reservoir, drop by drop. At first, it seems like nothing is happening, but over time, the weight of each drop becomes a current you can't stop. That's why the real question isn't, how much do I have right now? It's, how long have I been in the game? Everyone who stays in the game long enough notices the same pattern. At some point, time starts working for you. It doesn't happen in the first year or even the second, but one day you'll see that your money is earning more than you're adding yourself. That's the real magic, not of numbers, but of time. People love to count because numbers give them the illusion of control. They're afraid of uncertainty, so they invent milestones to cling to. But if you look deeper, wealth isn't a sum. It's a state of mind the moment you stop depending on instant results. When you realize that every drop matters, that the strongest weapon in finance isn't speed, it's patience. So if you want real freedom, stop chasing numbers. Ask yourself honestly, how many years am I willing to stay in the game even when I don't see results? The answer to that question defines everything, because money isn't the magic, and every year you don't waste, that's where the real miracle happens. At the beginning, it all feels unfair. You save every penny, cut your spending, deny yourself small pleasures, yet the results are tiny. Your balance grows slowly, almost invisibly. It feels like the system doesn't work. But those early years are when the foundation of growth is being built. The first years aren't about income, they're about structure. Imagine you invest $500 every month at an 8% annual return. After 5 years, you've contributed $30,000, but your account shows just over $36,000. The difference is small, most of that is still your own effort. But after 10 years, the story starts to change. You've put in $60,000, yet now you see almost $90,000. More than a third of that isn't your work anymore. It's time doing the heavy lifting. And after 20 years, your total contributions reach $120,000, but your account has grown to nearly $300,000. Over $170,000 of that is pure profit created not by you, but by the money you invested years ago. This is the moment when many people feel real awe for the first time. Not because of the numbers, but because of the mechanism behind them. You suddenly realize that even if you stop contributing, the system will keep running on its own. Because you didn't just build a balance, you built momentum. Compound interest isn't some formula in a textbook. It's the physics of time. Each past year becomes a lever that amplifies the next one. Think of it like an old flywheel in a factory. At first, you push with all your strength, and it barely moves. Each turn feels heavy and pointless. But little by little, it starts to spin faster, and one day, a gentle nudge is all it takes to keep it going. That's how money works in the beginning. You move it by hand. Later, inertia takes over. It's not magic, it's simply time accumulated into power. That's where real freedom lives. You no longer work for money, money works for you. Its movement no longer depends on your mood, your energy, or even your attention. You're no longer an operator, you've become the owner of a self-sustaining system. And the longer it runs, the less effort it requires from you. Most people never reach this point because they give up too early, while the flywheel is still heavy. They think speed is everything, but wealth isn't a sprint. It's a structure that gathers force slowly, and if you just don't stop pushing, there comes a moment when the weight begins to move on its own. When people hear the name Warren Buffett, they immediately think of a genius, someone who's simply smarter than everyone else. But if you look closer, his story proves the exact opposite. His fortune isn't the result of extraordinary intellect. It's the result of time, the time he allowed his money to grow. Buffett started investing as a child. By the age of 30, he was already wealthy by American standards. But here's the incredible part. Almost 99% of his net worth appeared after he turned 50. Not because he suddenly got smarter or discovered a secret market formula, but because the capital he had been patiently building for decades finally entered the phase where compound interest does all the work. His wealth wasn't built by genius, it was built by time that he allowed to run its course without interference. And Buffett's case isn't unique. Research shows that the most successful investors aren't the ones who perfectly time their buys and sells. They're the ones who simply forget about their accounts. Literally. They leave their investments alone. They don't panic. They don't trade constantly. They don't chase the next hot stock. Their secret is simple. They let time do the work. There's a famous study from Fidelity Investments. It found that the highest performing clients were the ones who had either passed away or completely forgotten they even had accounts. They took no action, and that's exactly why their money grew uninterrupted. It sounds absurd, but it's true. Sometimes doing nothing is the best investment strategy of all. This pattern repeats itself endlessly. Two people start at the same time. One invests $200 a month for 20 years. The other invests $1,000 a month but quits after just 3 years. Guess who ends up ahead in the long run? Not the one who invested more, but the one who stayed longer. Because time beats size. Small but consistent steps always outperform big, short-lived bursts of effort. It's a law of nature, not just finance. A river that flows for 100 years carves a canyon. A storm, no matter how powerful, disappears by morning. Money works the same way. The slow, steady current of time shapes what no single explosion ever could. And once you understand that, you stop chasing brilliant moves. You start seeking calm and longevity, because that's the true skill of a wealthy person. Not the ability to outsmart the market, but the discipline to not interfere when time is already working on your side. Once you realize that wealth is built not by money, but by years, a new question appears. How do you live those years correctly? How do you design a system where time doesn't slow down, but works continuously without interruptions, without human error? The first step is automation. If every deposit depends on your willpower or mood, you'll eventually skip one, then another. And just like that, the cycle of compound growth breaks. To prevent this, remove emotion from the equation. Set up automatic transfers, auto deposits to your investment account. Let the system work without your involvement. When money moves on schedule, you eliminate the weakest link in the process yourself. The second step is using tax advantages, depending on your country. Many systems offer special investment accounts that let you keep more of your returns through tax benefits. Every dollar not lost to taxes is another drop added to your reservoir of time. You're not just earning, you're preserving the efficiency of growth. The third step is reinvesting. Dividends aren't profits, they're seeds. If you spend them, you're eating your harvest. But if you reinvest them, you plant new trees. This creates a self-sustaining cycle where every part strengthens the next. A system that reinvests its own returns, keeps working even while you sleep. The fourth step is don't sell too early. The most common investor mistake is impatience. The market dips, they sell. The market rises, they fear losing profit and sell again. Each sale resets the clock. Time is erased and the compounding process starts from zero. So the rule is simple. Stay. Ignore the noise, the headlines, the panic. Those are temporary, but the years you lose those are gone forever. The fifth step is focus on consistency, not perfection. You don't need the perfect stock or perfect timing. The market doesn't reward perfection, it rewards endurance. Your goal isn't to be flawless, it's to be consistent. Even small, humble contributions become unstoppable when repeated without interruption, because time turns stability into strength. And once you've built all of this, you'll feel it, the ease. You're no longer relying on discipline alone. Your system runs while you live your life. Time flows, interest compounds, and for the first time, you see wealth not as a goal, but as the background of your life. If this video helped you see money differently, leave a like, subscribe, and tell me in the comments where you are right now in your own game. not for the algorithm, but so that years from now, you can come back to this video and realize you didn't just start. You stayed.